You can address the hurt. You can address the wounds, right? Within yourself with self-care. Hey guys, welcome to a special off-the-cuff version of Get Sheet-Faced with me. The mask we are doing is the Mise-On Joyful Time Essence in Olive. It says it's mild and moisturizing. And so far so good. It's kind of like sort of like fruity, kind of like a fruity floral smell, if that makes sense, like sophisticated candy. Smells pretty good, it's feeling pretty good. It's like a thicker cotton, but I really want to talk about self-care today. So I really want to talk about that. So let's get into it. Okay, so welcome back. I'm actually gonna take this off. I love sheet masking on camera, but it's kind of hard to move my mouth. Okay, so self-care as self-healing. This is a really interesting topic to me lately because I feel like I'm on this journey right now. What is going to create like my best life? Like what is going to make me the most happy? What is going to fulfill me? Like what am I really meant to be doing in life, right? And it just really kind of struck me that like all this time that I've been doing self-care, I've been kind of practicing self-healing, right? And I talked about skincare as meditation, and I absolutely believe that having a self-care practice can really be a meditative experience. So when you take care of your skin, you feel more confident. When you take care of your body, when you exercise, when you are able to sort of meet your goals through exercise, you kind of get a taste of what it's like to break down those barriers and to like break through, right? When you take care of your skin, you're able to become more confident because what you're presenting to the world is glowing, right? Like these things, the self-care naturally leads to like self-healing. When you are feeling depressed, when you're depressed, you cannot have a routine, right? Like no day is the same when you're depressed. Sometimes you can get out of bed and it's okay and get dressed and face the world and it's not a big deal. Sometimes you can't get out of bed. Some days you cannot face the world. But when you have self-care as part of your day and you can at least show up for yourself with, washing your face, putting on a serum, putting on a moisturizer. When you're in that type of state, that is everything. This is something that is important for us to realize, that self-care isn't about treat yourself, right? Like self-care is not about buying expensive things for yourself or splurging or putting on the most expensive French clay mud mask you can find. Like self-care is about healing yourself. What is the deeper meaning behind what you're doing? What is the deeper meaning behind taking care of your skin? What is the deeper meaning behind like massaging your body? What is the deeper meaning, right? Can you treat anxiety when you give yourself a hot oil massage? Yes, you can relieve the tension and the strain that manifests physically on our bodies when you do your own type of massage. When you physically touch your anxiety, the manifestation, the physical manifestation on your body of your anxiety, of your thoughts on your body, and you work them and you feel the pain and you feel the lump and you work through it and you work it down and you release the tension yourself, it is amazing. It is freeing. It is healing when you heal yourself. Now here's the deeper issue behind it, that this is kind of what drew me to want to film this video, and I have no makeup on and I have a meeting in 30 minutes, so let me do some makeup and talk. So many people are unhappy because they blame their problems or they blame where they're at in their life and what's making them unhappy on other people and on other circumstances. And I am guilty of this, and I know you guys are guilty of this too. We have all done it at least once, where we have blamed some situation or some person in our lives or in our past that have harmed us, who have kept us from accomplishing what we know we can accomplish, from achieving our happiness. Whether it is not getting into the right school, not getting the right job, losing a loved one, adversities. If I had just met the right person at the right time, if I had just gotten that job, I would have gotten ahead. If this person wouldn't have rejected me, I would have been happy now. There's so many things like this in our past that I know that we're thinking of. Right at this very moment, I can think of quite a few where it's just like, it's so easy to want to blame. To put that to put that responsibility in a way on somebody else. Obviously, we know that happiness is not determined by another person or by another event. We know that happiness is not determined by outside factors. It's determined within ourselves. We know this instinctively, but this is such a hard thing to accept because it means that we have work to do on ourselves in order to gain happiness, right? And it's so much easier when you are stuck and when you are unhappy to blame it on another person than to look within inside yourself and go, maybe there's an issue with me, right? Maybe there's an issue. And that's a really scary thing to come across, right? When you're like, holy shit, like, is there something wrong with me? But this is the biggest breakthrough, and this is the most freeing thought, and this is like your first step to happiness. I promise you, this is your first step to happiness. Where is this all going? I will make the point. I promise you, I will get to the point. So when you're doing your self-care massage, and you are working through your anxious muscle tension and pain, and when you are, working on your confidence, and when you are working on breaking through a bout of depression, and you are able to address these things on your own, and you are able to make yourself feel better, when you are able to implement a self-care routine that makes you feel more confident, that gives you a reason to get out of bed, that addresses the physical manifestation of pain, of the manifestation of your anxiety and pain on your body, when you are able to address that yourself, this is a powerful tool because you are unlocking your power. And I'm always talking about this, right? I'm always talking about making the most out of what you have. You have everything you need is inside of you. You can't buy it. You can't go and buy something to make you feel better or to give you the tools you need to succeed. You have it. You have to develop them. You have to unleash them. You have to believe that they're there, right? When you use self-care to heal yourself, this is so powerful. This is your tool. This is your step to happiness. It's all about being accountable for yourself. It's all about knowing what's going on with you. You are not nobody expects you to be perfect. I am not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody expects us to be perfect human beings. But when you kind of know those things, when you kind of know what needs to be healed, right? When you know what's going on with yourself, you're able to address it. You're able to control it. You're able to know when it is controlling your thoughts. Do you know what I mean? Especially with anxiety, when you have anxious thoughts, when you are aware of it, when you are constantly self-healing and self-treating your anxiety, when an anxious thought pops up in your mind, you're kind of able to just push it away a little bit more. You're able to identify it as that's an anxious thought, and that doesn't mean that it's a true thought, right? Like thoughts are just like clouds. Like they come in and then they come out, right? Like they're not permanent. They're not permanent fixtures. And thoughts are just thoughts. Thoughts aren't necessarily the truth. So here's the thing. This is what I'm getting at. I've said this a couple times, right? You can address the issues. You can address the hurt. You can address the wounds, right? Within yourself with self-care. You can do it yourself. I'm not saying you have to do it by yourself, but you can do little steps today that contribute and facilitate healing within yourself. And this is why I think self-care as a trend is amazing. And I want this to be like a self-care revolution. And I want people to look at the deeper meaning behind it and not just say, treat yourself, self-care Sunday, self-care selfie. No, I want people to be like, my self-care routine is my self-healing routine. But I want to know, what do you guys do to heal yourself? Do you think about that kind of stuff? Do you think in that way? What can I do to be a better person? Or what can I do to kind of, I don't know, I just feel like in the age of Google now, we have so much information at the tips of our fingers that so many more of us are just so much more interested in taking charge of our own health. Whether it be mental health, physical health, or whatever, I feel like so many more of us are so much more willing to do the research to find the answers instead of just kind of waiting for it to be spoon-fed to us. And I think that that is so amazing. And that all kind of wraps into this whole self-healing thing too, because, I mean, honestly, you can be spoon-fed the answers, but you have to do it yourself. You have to feel it in your bones, right? You have to feel it in order for it to be of any use to you. I don't usually do off the cuff videos like this. I usually have like a plan in mind. So this was just kind of a conversation that came up in my mind, and I really felt like you guys are the ones to share it with. So tell me, what is your self-care routine like? Because mine's obviously very skincare based, but like I love baths and I love exercise, and like I'm trying to get more into meditation and things like that. So I definitely have self-care routine, and I want to know what yours is. I want to know what it makes you feel like your most self. Like what makes you feel really whole, what makes you feel really good, what makes you feel like in your best self, right? I want to know about that. So tell me in the comments below, what do you do as part of your self-care routine that makes you feel the best version of yourself? Give this video a big thumbs up if you made it through. Oh my goodness. And subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about stuff like this, not always while I'm doing my makeup, but I do talk a lot about self-care, and I do talk a lot about self-help. So if you like the video, please subscribe. I upload all the time, and I will see you guys in the next video. I have 10 minutes to get out of the house. I think we did really good. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.